So today we will learn about file output stream. So let's say I'm taking a class here. Let's name it file output stream example. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to create a file. So to create a file, what we need to do is we will say file input stream f no, not input stream, sorry, file output stream FOS is equals to new file output stream. Then we will define the file name. So let me say abc.txt for this scenario. We'll discuss different scenarios here. Okay, so right now when I'm saying file output stream, what we are getting is unhandled exceptions. So if you want to handle this, what you need to do is surround it with try and catch. Otherwise you can say throws exception here, but we don't really want throws to be declared, because if we do that, what will happen, like if at runtime any exception occurs, our program will crash. We'll see that scenario. Okay, once. So we have created a file, or the best part would be, like, instead of creating it here, what we need to do is create this here. Okay, inside what is wrong, unhandled exception, and why this is saying that I am doing. That was okay. So there are two exceptions, like basically, but when I am saying this, then there is no issue, I believe. When we are saying this, then it is saying file not found or IO exception thrown by automatic close invocation. Okay, so read the message. What is it is trying to say? Unhandled exception type IO exception thrown by automatic close invocation on FOS. That means when we say open a file or create an object of file output stream inside try with resource, what it does, it takes care of calling close method, right? That means it will automatically call the close method later on, once we are done with the object, like there is no more task pending, right? That's why it is saying, like, if you say FOS, like I say FOS dot close, so it says unhandled exception type IO exception, right? So that means if we are saying file not found exception, that is only responsible for handling file not found exception. But if I say exception, that means it can be handled by exception class, because both are child of this. And if even I say IO exception, it will also handle file not found exception, because file not found exception is a child class of IO exception. Make sense? Say yes or no.
Yes, Anuj.
Okay, all right. So
I have a small doubt actually.
yes, please ask.
If we declare this class file input stream out of that method, means normally what we'll do, we will declaration in the class in the beginning of the class, right?
Sorry, please come again. I didn't get you.
If we declare the file input stream that reference variable in the beginning of the class, not in the try block.
Beginning of the class, you mean here at line 5?
Yeah.
That will be an instance variable.
Yeah, in that case also, is it going to close that reference?
No, no, no,
input
no,
stream?
no, no. That's we need to take care.
Oh, only here only we need to declare and initialize, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So generally we don't prefer these kind of operations to be declared over here, because it's an expensive operation, I would say. Like if you create two object for this, so two object of FOS will be created.
Yeah.
Getting
Okay,
my
Anuj.
point?
Understood, Anuj.
So we try to keep them local. Okay.
Yeah, okay,
Now
Anuj.
now what we need to do is we need to read some data from file. Sorry, keyboard. Okay. So for that, what I'll do is I'll use data input stream. You know, we have used scanner a number of times. So today we will be using data input stream. Okay. Data input stream. DIS is equals to new data input stream. I'm saying connect it with system.in. That means I'm connecting this with the keyboard. Okay. So this object can help us to read data from keyboard. Okay. Now if I say dis dot read, so what it can do is it can read an integer, byte array. There are a number of method you can see, right? But we are not gonna use all the methods. So what I will use here in this case, read line. Like one line of text you will enter will be read by this read line method and will be assigned to this variable, uh, that is line. Let's see. So what it will does, it will wait for your input. So what I need to do is I need to prompt user, enter your text here and say exit when you are done. Like when user will say exit or not exit, I would say at the rate exit, right? Then we will stop our program to read data from keyboard and we'll close the program. Okay. So this will read a line of text and we'll keep that line into this line variable. Now what we need to do is we need to say while 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 line dot equals, or I'd say equals, ignore case, and if it is equal to at the rate exit, and here I'm adding not, like until or unless you are not going to enter at the rate exit in a line, it will keep asking for the text or keep waiting for your input and will keep writing your data into the file. So what we need to do is we'll say fos dot write write. Now here when I say write, you can see there are three methods which we have is takes a byte array, second one takes an integer, and third one takes byte array int offset and length. So the second method, write int b, that we have used in last class. If you want to learn like how it works, you can go back into the recordings and you can see that. So today we will be using this write byte array. Okay, now what we have is we have a string, but we want an array of bytes that we can write into a file. So in string class, there is a method called 2 bytes. It's 2 bytes. Sorry, it's bytes. Get bytes. Okay. So what it will do, it will convert or return the line, or it will convert the line string into bytes and will return a byte array. So we can write it like this. Okay. So whatever you are going to enter will be read by this line, will kept into this line variable, and later on you will check if this is not at the rate exit, just do write that data into the file. And what next? Read a new line. Okay, and keep reading, right? Once you will say at the rate exit, it will say okay, bye. Okay, like this. All right. Now let me just run it. Okay, so right now you can see in my Eclipse here is a project called IU examples, and there are two files, abc.txt and copy.txt. Let me just remove these two files, and they will be created again. Okay, so right now you can see there is no file with the name abc, or let me do one thing. Let me call it sample.txt. Okay, and I'm gonna run as Java example. So it is asking for some data. So I'm saying, hello, how are you? I am fine. What about you? Also good. Okay, this is what I am typing. So what it does, it keep reading and will keep writing the data into a file. Now let's say we are going to close this program. So we'll say exit, and you can see a program has been terminated, and we can see the ending message, that is okay, bye. And now you must be wondering, like, where is my file? You cannot see any file here, right? So just do right click here and just say refresh, and you can get the sample.txt here. Okay, now let's see what we have done. So we have typed like, hello, how are you? Then I am fine. What about you? I am also good. But you can see the data we wrote is in single line, right? How we can fix it? Okay, so we can do one thing, like line plus double quotes, new line. Okay, what is the issue? Uh, get bytes is not working. Okay, so we can do this here, like append the new line in this and keep it into line like this. Okay, and here we will just say line dot get bytes. Now let me run it again. So the data we wrote will be override. Hello, how are you? I am good. How are you doing? I'm doing well, thanks. Okay, now I'm saying at the rate exit. So you can see we got okay. And if I just open this file again, so this is my data. Right? Getting my point, like how we did the new line thing. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this?
Just we are adding a new line to our input data, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now, what we need to discuss is so here we have learned like how to read data from keyboard and write that data into a file. um, so we have one more thing that we are going to discuss here is, so like whenever I say file output stream FOS equals to new file output stream, what it does, it creates a new file, right? What if we want to use the existing one, like this data is here and we don't want to lose this data, and what we want, if we want to write something, so it will start from here like this. So here is another way to do that. What is that? So here in this constructor of file output stream, it takes the name of file and the second thing is the flag. So true is basically the flag. It checks whether the file is there or not. If it is there, it will append the text. So file will be opened in append mode. But when we say false or we don't pass this, so by default the file opens in overwrite mode. Getting my point? So let me just run it again. I'm saying hi again. Hello. And I'm saying this. Okay. Now if I open it again, so you can see the data we wrote earlier is still there in the file. All right. So we can use this when we want to uh, uh, append the data in a file which is existed, right? One more thing to discuss here, that was like if we want to write this file somewhere else. So let's say on my desktop, I don't have any file. Okay, let me share my screen. So you can see at my desktop there is no sample dot txt. What I'm doing is I'm trying to give the path. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm saying, hey file output stream, create a file at this path. Okay, see users HP desktop. So txt, you can check here. It is just got created 11:27, and right now it's 11:27, right? And now what I'm saying is just open it. The text we wrote is hello. So this is how you can specify the path as well. Okay, now what if the path is not exist, like this path or desktop one, this path doesn't exist, and if I say run, what we are getting is the system cannot find the path specified. But you can see our program is getting executed till the end because we wrote try and catch. But if it were throws, then we won't be able to run it till the end. Like if I say this and throws IO exception, and I'm not gonna use this try catch stuff here. Now if I run it again, so you will see we run out of error, that is cannot find the path specified, but you are not getting that line. So that is the difference. Like if you just say throws, you are ignoring or you are telling to the caller this might happen at runtime. So basically what it does, throws exception, it's a warning to the caller. So right now, who calls main method? It's JVM. JVM calls main method, right? So the exception we are going to get will be received by JVM. Does it make sense?
Yes, Anuj.
Okay, perfect. All right. Now, what if we want to create a copy like I have discussed that in last class, so you can just go back. So, for example, you have a file and for which you want to create a copy, or might be a use case like you have a huge file, right? You want to read that file. It takes like 1 hour or 1 day to read because it's a huge file. But what you can do is your system have, let's say your system have multi-core processors. You can take advantage of that using multi-threading. So what you can do is you can split that file into multiple files first. Like let's say the file size is 1 GB. You can create, let's say, 10 file of 100 MB, then start 10 thread. They will be reading your file and will be doing the stuff. Okay, so in that way, like you might save the time. Getting my point? So
Oh,
you
how?
try that to split a file into let's say you have a sample file, sample.txt. In this file you have thousands of line of text, and what you want to do is you want to create 10 files, and in these 10 files every file will have 100 lines of text. Like sample underscore one.txt will have first 100 line, then second will have second 100 line, third file will have 300 file. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Hello,
Yes.
Anuj.
Yes.
If we want to divide the file, we must know how many lines are there, and based on that we can split, or based on the size we can split.
Okay, you can do like both the scenarios. For example, in your program you have 1,000 line, right? So if you are taking 100 line in a file, so it will be equally divided. Let's say there are 150 and we are taking 100 line of text in a file, so there will be 11 file, and in 11th file there will be 50 line. Getting my point?
Yeah, based on, if you want to split based on the size, means how it will decide how many lines, like that.
That's you need to figure out how you will do that. Okay, so your question is, you have a file.
Yeah.
Okay, in this file you have 1,000 line of text. Okay, you can just say line 1, line 2, line 3. And how you will do that? You can write a program and you can run a loop that will create the file will with this text line 4. I believe it's very simple. You just need to write a loop, and you need to write hard code line, and 1 2 3 will come from the loop, and we'll keep writing like we are doing here in this area. Getting my point? Can't we do this? Let me do it for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
understood, Anuj. We can take the loop and divide the file into equal parts
Yes.
and put it
So
in the another
anybody
file,
have,
right?
yeah, let me explain the problem and we'll ask questions. So guys, hello. Hello
Hello.
guys.
Yes, Anuj.
uh Privina, it's clear to you. Mamta, would
Yeah.
you be able to create a file with the text line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 100, line 1,000? Would be able to do that using Java?
Yeah, we can do with loops.
Perfect. So that is program part 1. You have to create a file which will be which will basically containing this data line 1, line 2, 3, 4, line 1,000. Okay, and now you will ask to user how many line you want in a file, or let's say sub file, because it's gonna be a sub file. So let's say user says 200. So what you will be doing, there will be 5 file with 200 lines, right? So 1,000 line will be covered. Then let's say there was 1,050 line. 50 line will be written in the 6th file. Getting my point? So that's how logic you need to figure out. We'll discuss that tomorrow. Okay, guys. Tomorrow we will not do any class. We'll just discuss this example. Sorry. Anybody has any doubt in this? Like, if you want any hint how we are going to do that, so you can ask. But I believe you can do it. So give it a try.
Yes, Anuj, we can try and ask if any doubts tomorrow.
Okay, fine. Now, next thing we will discuss is file input stream. We have covered that, but let me just do one thing. So we have sample.txt, which is at desktop, and let me just do one thing. We have a string. This is the string we have, okay, and I'm going to create a huge file. So I'm saying while true. Just do one thing. I'll write this new line over here. Okay, just create a huge file. So let me just run it. So what it will do, it will keep writing, and keep writing. Sorry, it's waiting for my input. I need to remove this line. Yeah, now it will keep writing into file. Okay. So you can see it's writing. let me check the size of file, like how much data we have. 33 MB. Oh, it's very big file, we can say. Let's stop it. Now if I open it again, how much the size? 57 MB. So if I open this, you can see there is a lots of data in this file, right? How many lines? Some 1 lakh line, right? 10 lakh, sorry. Can you see, guys? So 10 lakh lines of code here. Text, sorry, not code. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to read it. Okay. And to read it, what I need is file input stream. File input stream. Okay. So we are going to read from this path. What we are getting is, yeah, this flag cannot be here. Okay, fine. Now we don't really need this one. We will just say read data from the file. We'll see how many how much seconds it's taking, seconds or minute, I'm not sure. So we'll see. Okay, so what I need to do is while, let me take fis dot read. So first of all, there is no way to read a line when we are using file input stream, so we can read only one character at a time. Okay, that's fine. I'm saying int num. Okay, and while num is not null. Okay, do one thing. Sorry, not null. My bad. It's -1. Not -1. Read the number again. Sorry, guys. Read the number again, and do one thing. Before reading the next character, just do one thing. Show us what you are reading from the file. That means that number. Okay. Like this. Fine. And let's see how much time it takes in reading this file. So what we need to do is we have a class called system. In this we have a method called current time release. So what this method does, it tells us the timestamp of execution. Like once this line will be executed, So it will note down that time and will tell us that time, and we will keep that time into start time. Okay, so it will be a number long. Sorry. Now similarly, what we will be doing, we'll calculate the end time. Like when this line will be executed, we'll get another timestamp which will be our end time, and we'll see time consumed is plus end time minus start time. So if you like somewhere you need to figure out like how much time your program or a particular code is taking in execution, so you can use this current time release. Okay guys, now let me just run it. So right now you are getting the data printed in new line because we are using new line here. Okay, we'll run it again. The time I will use println. So it's reading right now. Once it will be done, it will say time consumed and the time it took. Okay, let's wait for a moment. So meanwhile it's executing, let me discuss the approach we are going to learn. So you guys might have heard about buffering. Heard or not? Hello. Can you see my screen? Guys, can you see my screen?
We can see YouTube.
Yes, that's what I am trying to show you. So here you can see the data is like the buffer you can see here, right? Can you see that seek bar? Hello, please confirm, guys.
Yes, we can see.
Yes, so right now it's executing 33 seconds data frame, but you can see we have data available in this buffer till line 1.48, right? And it's keep going. Even my internet connection went down. We can run till this point where my cursor is. Okay, getting my point? I'm just trying to show the concept of buffering. So this kind of buffer, you know, right? Hello.
Yes, Anuj.
So we can say when it's going to internet to fetch this data, it's somehow it's creating a copy of that data over here in the buffer, right? Even I stop my internet connection, we can play this track till this point, 3.2 minutes. Is that correct or not? Yes or no?
Yes,
or
Anuj.
no? Because the data is in buffer. All right. Now let's go back to our program. It's still reading. Oh my God. In this way, it will take whole day. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Otherwise, we will reduce the size of the file. Okay, so meanwhile, the program is executing. Let me do one thing. Let me create one buffer here. So we have a concept called buffered input stream. BIS is equals to new buffered input stream. In this, what we need to do is we need to connect this buffer with the file. So what we were doing earlier, we were reading the data from the file itself. In this case, we will be using a buffer in between. So data will be read from the file will be kept into this buffer. and we'll use this buffer for further operation. So we will say read from buffer, not from the file directly. Okay. bis.read, and that's it. The rest of the things would be same. Guys, it's taking very much time. Let me reduce some data from the file because we don't have that much time to spend on this. FIS. So right now I'm just using FIS. Sorry, it would be BIS here. So I have created a object of buffer input stream, but I'm not right now using it because the thing I was trying to show you, I was not able to do to show you because the data was there in this file is very large. So let's say we have some 21,000 line of code in this. So there are some 23,000 line of code or text. Okay. Now let me quickly run it. So it might be executed in 1 minute. So it took 11,422 milliseconds. If I run it again, it might be go up a bit or a bit down. So let me run it 3 times and we'll take the average. Right now it's 10,366 and let me run it again. Now you might be wondering like why the time is different. So it doesn't really, we cannot predict it because your program is doing lots of things. If you can see task manager, it's not only responsible for your Java program, there are a number of processes that are running. You can see here. So it depends like at a moment how much CPU and RAM it's giving to your program. Okay. So it depends, like it will take it will vary in every run. So the average we can take is 10. Okay, 10 seconds. The time we are getting here is in milliseconds. So 1 second is equal to 1000 milliseconds. So 10 seconds it's taking. Now I'm saying do not read from file directly, use BIS. Okay, and use BIS. Okay, now let me run it. So you will see the difference in terms of performance. How much it is?
Oh, it's only 4 seconds.
Yes, and if I say the file size is very huge, for example, so the delay with buffer or without buffer will vary based on the size of file. Getting my point?
Yeah. Yes, Anuj.
Let me add few more line of code. So now, right now, the size is just doubled, right? And if I'm running it with with buffer, it's taking approx 8 seconds, but without buffer. It's taking how 20 seconds, right? So you got the difference between uh, while reading with buffer and while reading without buffer. So buffer is basically to improve your performance of your reading or writing or your program, right? Similarly, like if you want to write in a file, you can use buffered output stream. You will be connecting your file output stream to buffered output stream, and then you will be using bos.write. Okay. Any doubt in this, guys? Hello.
Yeah, clear, Anish.
Okay. So we'll stop here today because I'm not very well. I have some task for you guys. That the task one we have discussed, and one more thing. You need to study about file reader, file writer, buffered reader, buffered writer. Okay, these class you need to explore on your own. One more thing I would request, like we have a program which is using file input stream by a buffer input output stream, buffer input stream. Similarly, make a program that will be using file reader for reading and buffer reader, and see the difference. Like if you are reading the same file using this input stream, sorry, byte stream and character stream, what is the difference in terms of time? So you can try that, and you can decide like if you have textual data, what is a better option. So you need to make a decision. So to make a decision, you need to compare both of these. Like you have a program of file input stream and buffered input stream. Similarly, you will have a program of buffered reader and file reader. Okay, so try it, and I'm here if you guys face any issue. I'm here to help. Okay. Let me add one more thing. So for example, we have studied or learned how to read a file, how to write a file. Now what we can do is, let me show you how to copy an image from internet, right? Because we know how to read a file, we know how to write a file. So till now what we were doing is we are writing data from a file which is in our file system. There might be a file which is not in our file system, somewhere in internet. We can read that as well. Okay, how we will do that? Okay, let's see. So let me open google.com. Okay. So this is the page we can see, google.com, right? Okay, now what I'm gonna do is, first I'll read this page. So what I'll get is, when I'll read this page, I'll get an HTML. What is that HTML behind this page? You can see using using Control U, the source. So this is all this written in this page HTML. So we will be reading it our Java program. Okay, it's gonna interesting, guys. So keep an eye. So let's understand the terminology, like how we will approach this. We have internet. Okay, here we have internet. There is a file or page we want to read. What we need to do is, we need to make a connection. to this page. It will give us input stream. Once we get the input stream, we can read data, and once we are able to read, we can write this data to somewhere. This would be the approach, right? First we will make a connection. That connection will give us input stream. From this input stream we will read and will write the data into a file. Okay, let's do it very quickly. So in Java there is a class called URL. If you want to read something from URL, you can use that. Okay. URL, sorry, URL. It's in java.net package. So I'm creating an object of URL class, new URL, and here you need to pass the URL of the page. So this is the page I'm trying to read. Okay. Now what you need to do is from this URL, you will call a method called get connection. Sorry, not get connection. It's what it was. There is one more class which is URL connection. We'll create an object of this URL connection, new URL connection, and it takes, I think I'm missing something. Wait guys. URL dot open connection. The method name is open connection, and it will returns us an object of URL connection. Okay, so we got the connection here. Okay, like we are going to bind our Java program to the URL with the help of these two classes. First, we have bind our URL to the URL class, and we bound this URL connection to. From this URL connection, what we did is we have opened a connection. Now, from this connection, what we can do is we can get input stream. Okay. And we are using input stream from last few days, but that was not the class we were using. We were using FileInputStream or data input stream. So it's kind of simple, similar thing, right? It's an abstract class basically. You can see, and if I go to FileInputStream, Control-Shift-T, FileInputStream. Okay. You can see it extends input stream. So don't worry, it's kind of similar thing, right? So from this input stream, what we can do is input stream dot read. We can use read, and if we can read, we can write. Getting my point? So do one thing, not directly read it from this. Let's introduce a buffer, which basically we have here. So we'll say BIS is equals to new buffered input stream, and it will take an input stream. Okay. So the connection we made earlier is no more valid, or we can just remove that code. Okay. Or either we can do one thing, we can move this inside our try block. Okay. What we are getting is the resource BIS is a try with resource statement cannot be assigned. Okay. So if you are creating an object inside try with resource feature, you cannot reassign. So let me move this, or let's keep it here for now. Okay. I'm not gonna much into this detail. So we have BIS, and from BIS we can read and we can write. Okay, so BIS.read and BIS.read, and where it will write, it will write in console. Let me just run it. So here is the all data we have read it from that page. Let me just do one thing. Let me copy this and let me paste it in somewhere here in Notepad. And if I say save as an HTML page, HTML, yeah, and save it on desktop. Okay, and do one thing. Open it with Firefox. So you can see the similar kind of page we are getting, right? Some data which is basically not in the page, which is not getting loaded here, but you can see the rest of the things are same. Does it make sense, guys?
Yes,
Okay.
Sunil.
Okay,
Yes.
so your task is for tomorrow. There is an image. Let me say wallpaper, and let's say any random wallpaper you can take. Okay, and if I say copy image address, right, and I say read from here. Oh my god, it's a very huge URL. So similarly, like this is not looks like good. Let me take another URL. So no, it is not this one. Oh, it's getting open on Wikipedia. Oh, now let me take this one. Copy image address. Okay, and if I say Control Z, Control V, so it's kind of small URL. You can read from here, and you will get the data. But if you print it on console, it will not make any sense. What we are getting, we cannot read from this URL directly. There is something wrong. The server is not allowing us to read directly this way. Like they have might be kept some validation on this. Let me try this one. Copy image address and just do one thing. Paste it here. Try to read it. Yeah. So you can see we are getting something, right? But it's not the valid thing we are like we would like to see. So what I'm assuming you will read the data in same way, but it should be an image. Like once your program is completed, it will create a file here, name it any JPG. So basically your file name would be some name dot jpg would be the extension, and you will see you will get the image downloaded on your system. Okay, so this is the next task you have to do. All right, guys.
So exactly what you're asking means by opening that file, we can
Okay.
see image, right?
In short, I can see you have to download this image using Java program. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try it today.
There is a straightforward way, save image as, that we are not going to use. We have to use our Java program that will download this image for us. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. I'm wrapping up it here. I'm in